Well, thank you, Vaseem, for the very nice words, and thank you, everybody, for welcoming me here today. I'll tell you a little more about the bill that Vaseem had mentioned, and then I'll give you some more of my thoughts about this organization and what we're working on. House Bill 4011, I introduced it this year. What it will do is it will ensure that every student has an excused absence for the purpose of recognizing a religious holiday or for religious reasons. And the burden will be on the school and the teachers and the principals to make sure that there are opportunities to make up work, make up tests, so nobody will be negatively impacted if they have to be out of school for the purposes of a religious holiday. And like Vaseem said, this is an idea that I didn't come up with on my own. This was an idea that Vaseem brought to me and explained to me that this was a problem. And kind of in a bigger picture, that's why this organization is so important, right? I've come to a number of these events, and at every single one, myself and others, we praise you about how important it is that the Muslim community in Lake County is organizing politically and civically, and making sure that us as elected officials hear you with one strong voice, and that we recognize you as an important part of our community. But this is why it's so important, right? It's one thing to just get somebody elected, right? It's another thing entirely to have that person change public policy in a way that's going to benefit people in our community, right? And that's why elections are so important, right? It's because who we elect has a very, very big impact on the lives of the people in this room and the people in this community. And I'm always very, very eager to find new opportunities to work with this organization. I just heard of a new one today that is going to be a project for us next year, and that's the fasting and physical education issue. That's something that I would not have realized is an issue, because that's not something that I experience in my personal life, but it's why it's so important to listen from a broad, diverse group of people. So when I finish this bill this year on the religious holiday absences, we can start working on next year's bill to try to get some requirements, because those are state requirements too. Kids are required to go to physical education. So what we can do, we can figure out if we can loosen those up and try to, that could be the problem we try to fix next year. One more thing I want to say, just a little bit background about myself and why I think that these issues are so important. Everybody in this country, had come here for only one reason. It's because, well, with some exceptions, the Native Americans were here first, and people came over via the slave trade. But everybody who immigrated to this country came here because, well, one of two reasons. Either because there was something really, really good here, or something really, really bad somewhere else, right? So I feel that as an elected official, I have a responsibility to do what I can to live up to that promise for the people who came here. That if you came here because you're trying to get away from something that was really, really bad, or if you came here because you wanted something that was really, really good and more opportunities for your family, I want to make sure that everybody feels good with the decision that you made or the decisions that the people made before you. It's something that's very personal to me. My family moved to the United States about 100 years ago, escaping discrimination against the Jewish people in Eastern Europe. That's why we came to this country. That may be why some of you came to this country too. We see this around the world today. There's regions in the Middle East that you see very awful treatment to the Muslim communities. In India, in China. These are big, big problems that we need to be working as a community, speaking up against those wrongdoings that are happening, but also welcoming people here. Because that's the great thing about America, is we're not based on, this is not a country based upon your religion. It's not a country based upon what language you speak, or what you look like, or where you came from. This is a place where everybody can come, and everybody should feel welcome. We don't always live up, thank you. We don't always live up to that ideal, but it's something we always need to be striving for, and that's something that I take very, very seriously. So once again, thank you so much for having me today, and I'm always very proud to work with this organization. Thank you.